Welcome to AxieBite, where we explain Axie Infinity in bite size. Today, we'll be talking about cards that do just a little bit more damage than usual.
Check it out.
Last episode, we talked about cards that can disable your opponent's abilities, rendering their teams weaker than they are supposed to be. So this episode, let's talk about cards that you can use to improve your team's damage output. The ability to boost your Axie's damage sounds pretty straightforward, so this episode is going to be a shorter one. And if it's straightforward, why doesn't everyone just use them? That's because these cards usually come with specific conditions. Usually, these cards require you to be familiar with combos and chain. What's combos and chain, you ask? Well, it is only one of our very first AxieBite episodes you should check out. Now let's jump into it. The first one we'll talk about is Might Bite. Might Bite is a card that does double the damage when comboed with another card. Sounds strong, right? But the downside of it only costs 30 damage if used on its own. You will also notice that it costs 0 energy, so at a glance, you can already see that this card encourages you to play with combos. Next, we look at Bug Splat. Bug Splat is as direct as it comes. From the name of the card, you can already guess that it only works on Bug-type Axies. Bug Splat is an ability that does 110 damage, but will do 50% more damage when used against a Bug Axie. Next up is Dull Grip. Dull Grip is an ability that's useful when you're going up against tank Axies with thick shields. Just on its own, it already does 120 damage, which is already on the higher end of damage. When hitting shielded targets, Dull Grip does an extra 30% damage. That's 156 damage. Two of this means you'll be dealing at least 312 damage, not taking into account the Axie's strength and weaknesses. Now let's talk about the more common ones we see on our damage Axies. For Beast, I'm sure all of you have seen Nutcrack and Nut Throw. You already know this one, I'm sure. These cards do 120% damage when comboed with another Nutcrack card. We also have a pretty common bird Axie ability known as Early Bird. You have probably seen this one and wondered why it does so much more damage than you think it would. Just as the name of the card suggests, Early Bird does 120% damage if used by an Axie that goes first in the round. The opposite of Early Bird would be another card you will commonly see, Prickly Trap. Prickly Trap does 110 damage on its own, but does 120% more damage if the Axie attacks last in the round. There are so many cards out there that do extra damage if you pay close attention to it. All you need to remember is to follow the conditions set by the card in order to trigger the bonus damage. And that wraps up our episode for today. Be sure to like and subscribe for more of our content and leave a comment down below if you want us to cover anything. And that's today's AxieBite. See you on the next one.